What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. Today's World's Format deck profile is on Blacephalon-GX. Not one of the decks I've tested the most with so far. It does lose some things. Mysterious Treasure also becomes worse in the deck because of it losing Tapu Lele, GX, and Let Loose. But the deck is still functioning in the few sets I've played with it. Seems pretty good. You can play the Ninetales with the Gust effect. I chose not to play that yet. I'm still playing Persian GX to search things out. So we're starting with 4 Blacephalon-GX. We have 3 Poiple, 3 Nag, 1 Meowth, 1 Persian, 1 Ditto, 1 Mew, and 1 Dedenne GX for the Pokemon. Also, sorry about the camera quality. I'm kind of new to the IRL deck profile, so I'm working on getting them to look a little better. So our main attacker is Blacephalon-GX. If you're not familiar, our main attack with it is going to be Mind Blown for 2 fire energy. Put any amount of fire energy attached to your Pokemon into the Lost Zone, and then do 50 damage for each energy Lost Zoned. So with B-Strings and Naganadel and Welder, we can get a lot of energy onto the board, and then do a lot of damage with Bursting Bird. This usually will trade pretty favorably versus tag teams as long as you can get the knockout on them, since this is a 2-prize Pokemon. But 180 has also become really easy to knock out now, since we're reaching up to numbers in the mid-200s, even the high 200s now. Then we have the 3 Poiple, 3 Nag. So this is here mostly to use the charging up ability, which reads, once during your turn, you may attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon. So it's kind of like Malamar's Psychic Recharge, except it's any energy and only to Naganadel. But Blacephalon's Mind Blown can remove energy from any of your Pokemon, so it's fine to put it here. Some decks will run Energy Switch, so you can charging up and then Energy Switch to Blown, but we have Welder and Beast Ring, so I'm usually not worried about having energy on our Blacephalon. We're playing the 1/1 Persian GX for Persian GX's Catwalk ability. Once during your turn, if one of your Pokemon GX or EX were knocked out during your last turn, during your opponent's last turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand. So if your first Blacephalon gets knocked out, you send up a new one and then search for any 2 cards. There are a lot of combinations you can do, but usually it's going to be like 2 B-String or a B-String and a Reset Stamp, which is really powerful in this deck. Then we have 1 Ditto, since it can evolve into either Persian or Nag. 1 Mew that prevents all damage done to your bench Pokemon by your opponent's attacks. So that's good against Pikarom. And then a Dedenne GX for Dedenne change. Maybe get more Dedennes in here in the future, but you really don't want to put it down if you don't have to, and you definitely don't want to start it. So on to our supporters. We're playing 4 Lily, 3 Welder, and 2 Cynthia. So 4 Lily is kind of a no-brainer. If it's your first turn, draw up to 8. So we'll try to empty our hand and draw as many cards as we can. And then mid and late game, it's not the best, but also not the worst. Usually you can empty your hand with things like Mysterious Treasure and Acrobike and attaching for turn and whatnot. The Welder's very good, which is attach up to 2 fire energy cards from your hand if you do, to one of your Pokemon, if you do draw 3 cards. So as early as turn 1, you can accelerate energy onto your Blacephalon-GX without using B-String, or it can help you dig for B-String while attaching energy to your hand, to your Pokemon from hand as well. And then we're playing 2 Cynthia, shuffle, draw 6. I'm not really a big fan of Cynthia in this deck. Like, I feel like most of the time I'd rather Welder and get more energy onto the board, but sometimes you need to just draw a new hand. And for Pokemon Search, this has been pretty weird for me to like try to get to an optimal Pokemon search line. So we have 3 Mysterious Treasure, 2 Pokecom, and 1 Cherish Ball. If you don't know what Cherish Ball does, we'll start here. It's just search your deck for a GX Pokemon and put it into your hand. And then we have 2 Pokemon Communication. Put a Pokemon into your deck to search for a Pokemon. And then the 3 Mysterious Treasure, discard a card from your hand to search for a Psychic or Dragon Pokemon. So Mysterious Treasure is not as good as it used to be for Blacephalon-GX, the deck, because it's searching for Mew and it's searching for the Naganadel line. It's still very good because you can empty a fire energy out of your hand to search out one of these Pokemon or a Mew, or just fail the search and search out an energy. Discard an energy. Or search for a card to then put back with Pokemon Communication. But it's not as good because it can't get Let Loose anymore and it can't get Lele anymore. So the Pokemon search for this deck has gotten pretty awkward. Then we got 4 B-String, an important part of the deck. If your opponent's at 3 or 4 prize cards remaining, search your deck for up to 2 basic energy and put them onto one of your Ultra Beast. This kind of keeps the deck going after the early game. If you get an early Welder and then into B-String turns, you're sitting really pretty. And then we've got 4 Acrobike. Look at the top 2, discard 1, put the other into your hand. That's also going to help you get energy into the discard pile and just get through your deck. Then we've got, here, let me move this over. Then we've got 2 reset stamps, which I mentioned are really good because we have the Persian GX. You can search for like a B-String and a reset stamp. Reset stamp your opponent to a lower hand. If you don't know what it does, your opponent shuffles their hand into their deck and draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards. So it's like an N on one side, and it's only an item card. And then we have 2 Ultra Space. Once during your turn, search your deck for an Ultra Beast, which is, it's a stadium. This is really great. It helps us get our Blacephalons out and our Poiples if we already have Blacephalons. And it can also get us a card. It can get us a Poiple, Naganadel, or Blacephalon to then put back with Pokemon Communication to get something that isn't an Ultra Beast. Which is why I may be putting more Pokemon Communication into the deck. Then we've got a Switch, and we've got a Heat Factory Prism. Heat Factory is really great. Discard a fire energy and draw 3 cards. And of course it's a Prism Stadium, so it has the normal text that Prism Stadiums have. And then we have 15 fire energy and a beast energy. So out of the deck profiles I've been posting on YouTube, this is one that I'm not as confident in. Like I said, there's a few things I'm shaky on. The Pokemon search has become pretty awkward for the deck. Acrobike feels pretty necessary, and I'm also not sure if you need more Dedenne. Custom Catcher and Gust Effects are in the meta, or in the format still, so that the Dedenne GX can get gusted up. It's just not as likely because Guzma's gone. But I definitely think the deck has gotten a little worse with rotation. Still strong, but I'm not sure if it can be in Tier 1 without Let Loose in the format. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed this deck profile. Let me know what other decks you want to see. I'm going to try to get a lot more Worlds format content out there in the coming weeks. I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.